Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Tuesday, May 8th, 2018. I am Dave Biddle, very happy to be joined by Duane Long. Dan Rubin is usually doing this on Tuesdays. He is on assignment. That can mean like a million different things, so we'll let the listeners just use their imagination on that. But Dan Rubin is on assignment, so I am with Big Daddy Blues. We're going to talk about the biggest concerns for the 2018 Buckeyes. We're going to talk about the biggest strengths for the 2018 Buckeyes, but Duane, I haven't talked to you in a while. I want to start off with the million-dollar question in Buckeye Nation, my man. Joe Burrow, Dwayne Haskins, just what are you hearing about maybe who has moved ahead of the other, if you're hearing anything about that on the quarterback front?
Well, I think that, just based on what I'm hearing, getting some feedback, it just, everyone wants to throw a caution up. But most of them are saying, okay, it looks like Haskins, but because Burrow had a really good spring, and he's a superior runner. So, I think that Urban Meyer's being honest when he says it's undecided because he is committed to that quarterback run. How many years have we seen it happen? Going back to Braxton Miller when he was still the quarterback. Urban Meyer thinks that +1, that quarterback who is running the football makes a difference. So we have to be concerned about that. If we see our offensive coordinator and our quarterback coach win the battle, quarterback's just going to be back there handing off and throwing the football. But Urban Meyer has won 3 national championships with quarterbacks running the football, for the most part. And he really believes in it. So we're going to see what's going to happen. I think that he's going to try to carry this out. He is not the guy I think he is if he lets this go anytime soon. He should try to carry this out as long as he possibly can, Dave. Let's see what happens. These guys need reps in practice, and we'll see what happens. But I think one of them's out of there by the time we get to the first game. We've seen it happen late, where somebody transfers at the last possible minute before they lose a year of eligibility. That's what I think is going to happen. But Meyer is going to carry this out as long as possible, and he should. It's in the best interest of Ohio State football.
Let's transition and just talk about some actual football. None of the drama, who's not going to be on the team and all that. Let's talk about our biggest concerns and what we think the biggest strengths are going to be for this team. We'll start with the bad. We'll start with the concerns. We'll go offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. Those are the 4 categories. Duane, we'll start with offense. When you look at the Buckeye offense in 2018, what's your biggest concern?
I don't know what's going to happen at wide receiver. You look at Zach Smith, and I see a guy who has proven himself to be a recruiter. But the one thing that I really would like to sit him down and ask him to explain is why we have so many guys in the rotation. How are the quarterbacks supposed to get in rhythm with the receivers when you've got so many guys running in and out of there? Last year, we seemed to cut down the rotation a little bit, and things got better later in the season. Let's get down to 3 or 4 guys that we're really going to use and get the quarterback used to working with these guys. Think about this, Dave. C.J. Sanders, where did he pop up? Out of the blue. He's a walk-on.
Saunders.
Why did that happen? Saunders. Why did that happen? Well, he was used to working with Haskins as a backup. Haskins got comfortable with this guy. He got used to throwing him the ball. He knew he was going to run the right route. He was going to get open, and he was going to catch the ball. Quarterbacks getting comfortable with receivers. That's why if you look over the history of football, you see quarterbacks having favorite receivers. Why? They develop confidence in them. Running all these guys in and out, we just don't see a quarterback developing the rhythm, the confidence. We need to settle on a few guys and put them out there. And Zach Smith seems to want to run 10,000 receivers in and out of there, and it's so disappointing, and I imagine the quarterbacks are unhappy about that situation. Let me get a few guys that I actually believe in. I believe that would improve the passing game rather dramatically.
Defensively, what's your biggest concern, Duane?
Linebacker, and I'm also, why can't we find a safety? Why can't we find Isaiah Pryor? I keep hearing this expression, Isaiah Pryor is the other safety by default. Well, that's not good enough for me. I want a guy who wins a job, just like Malik Hooker. He stepped in there and took the job. We heard that he was the man. Well, we've got Fuller and we've got who? Right now it's Pryor by default. That's not good enough. I'm also, we don't know what we got linebacker, Dave. We've got a bunch of guys. Look how many guys are left. We need to find some guys that can step in there and both cover and play in, a little smash mouth. So I'm concerned about those situations. I think we'll work it out at cornerback. I'm not that worried about it. I think we got talent. I think we'll find some guys. I'm not really worried about that. Linebacker and the one safety spot. That's what I'm concerned about.
From a special team standpoint, anything to be concerned about?
I liked what I saw in the spring game. I liked that we were effective. Meyer continues. You take a field goal, then you back him up 10 yards, and you take another field goal, and then you back. I thought we were good there. I think you have to be so effective in the kicking game. When you get down there and you don't put 7 on the board, you need to get 3. I think it's underestimated how important it is to at least get 3 when you get down inside the 40-yard line. You need to convert something. You need to get something out of that. And I like what I saw in the spring game.
I love their punter too. Sorry to interrupt you. I love the punter too. Drew Chrisman. We all loved Cam Johnston. Drew Chrisman steps in. It was just like, oh yeah, here's your next All-American punter. As a redshirt freshman, Kerry Combs told me, like, when Chrisman was redshirting, he's like, wait till you see this guy. He's like, he's not rugby style, but he is a traditional punter. He's a boomer, and that's what he is. So now we got Sean Nurenberger as a fifth-year senior. You got Hobble as a sophomore, who's the backup kicker, but is also the kickoff guy. You got probably one of the better kickers in the country, Drew Chrisman. And I feel like, the return guys are going to be on point with DeMario McCall. I'm pretty bullish on these guys, man.
Well, I liked what I saw out of McCall. First thing, people talk about the return game. I'm not interested in the return game nearly as much as I'm interested in the change of possession game. The first thing you got to do, Dave, is get the ball. Make sure you secure the ball. And we've had this, we don't know what's going to happen here for too many years. What I saw in the spring game was a guy making a possession. Get the ball. Then we can worry about it. I had a high school coach that I have so much respect for tell me that if I get a guy that can secure the ball and get me 10 yards, I'm happy. I could not be happier. And that's really what it comes down to. Get the ball. And Jim Tressel was a guy that always thought about that. Just get the ball back. And that's what we saw.
Coach,
I didn't see the circus that we've had too many years at just securing possession.
And coaching. I know that's like one thing we always talk about, personnel. Let's talk about coaching a little bit. What do you and we'll even start off the next segment with coaching as well. But let's finish with what we're concerned about. From a coaching perspective, offensive or defense, is there anything that concerns you when you look at this really all-star coaching staff they put together?
Well, again, we go back to Zach Smith. We're not seeing the kind of production out of the receivers that we expect. We go back to the best receiver in recent years, Michael Thomas. Well, Zach Smith did not really have that much of an impact on Smith. Most of his development came before Smith. We got some guys here, Dave. We need to get better production. I think we need to cut down the numbers. I've said that. I thought last year we improved when we cut down the number of guys in the rotation. I think we need to do that. And Zach Smith needs to step up. Other than that, we just lost Combs, and that, I think, is going to be huge. Look at what we've done. We're defensive back, cornerback university under Combs. We need to give him time, though. The one thing that we can actually see is we're not seeing the development at receiver that we hoped.
All right, now we're going to talk about all the good things about this team. What we feel are going to be the strengths of this team, and as promised, we'll start with coaching. From a coaching perspective, offense or defense, Larry Johnson. Maybe let's take Larry Johnson out of it since he's the best of what he does, and we know that. That's just too easy. What do you feel good about from a coaching perspective for this team, Duane?
I like Ryan Day. I think Ryan Day, I don't like the idea of losing him at all, and we're going to. He's too good. He turned down jobs that he could have been a head coach right now, but he knows he's a top 10 caliber coach. We're going to lose him, if not after this year, certainly after the year after, once he shows, we got Urban Meyer always believed in J.T. Barrett. It's about being a leader. I think we're going to see a little bit better performance at quarterback, despite the fact that we won so many games under Barrett. I think that there were too few games where he was not the difference, and I think we could be a quarterback with the talent we have now and the coach we have now. That's the guy I think about as being top of the line. I think we're going to lose him. Schiano, what happened with Tennessee last year? I think Schiano could be a great head coach somewhere. What happened at Tennessee last year, dragging all that garbage from the past up, I think it hurt him. I think that someone will eventually take a chance with him. I want to hang on to him as long as possible. I think we've got a great coaching staff, Dave. I really think that this is as good as it's been in a while. So, there's not much to be concerned about the coaching staff. Getting guys in, they're doing a great job of recruiting. I like where we're at with the coaching staff. I'm just concerned that we're not going to hang on to Ryan Day any longer. We want to hang on to him as long as possible. I think he's going to get a big job very soon.
Yeah, I love this coaching staff too, and I think they're going to be able to hold on to Ryan Day because of the commitment they made to him. And we'll see. Unless he gets like a plum head coaching offer, that all bets are off if that happens. All right, let's push it forward. You look at the offensive side of the football. What do you feel best about, Duane? You look at the 2018 Buckeyes.
I got running back and quarterback. I really think we got so much talent at those two positions. I would also throw tight end out there. Tight end.
I like it.
We're so deep at tight end. I'm really excited about that. I hope we take advantage of it. We got running backs. Antonio Williams, everyone believes he had a great spring. We saw some of what he's capable of in the spring game, and he's transferring out. You look at what Teague did in the spring game. He was easily the best back in the spring game. And then you look at what's coming in with Snead. To me, Snead, if you ask me, on equal footing, I obviously think Teague just had getting in here early was huge. If you ask me which back was going to be the more impactful player early, I would have said Snead, but Teague's got a head start on him now. But Snead is a great-looking back. Quarterbacks, we talk about this. How long have we been talking about this, Dave? We've been talking about this for a year. I think that we're going to be great at quarterback, one way or the other, whether it is Haskins or if it's Burrow. I believe in both of those guys. I have been in the Haskins camp, but if Burrow wins the job, I'm not going to be surprised at all. I think we're really good at those positions. I think we've got to worry a little bit about the offensive line, but I'm not overly worried about the offensive line. The receivers, they just got to stand up. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, my firm belief is we got too many guys in the rotation. Let's settle on a few guys and get them forward, get them accustomed to the quarterbacks. I mean, do we need to name the combinations we've seen over the years from the NFL to the college game, quarterback and receiver. Let's get these guys comfortable with who they're throwing it to. They know what they're going to do. I remember an old movie, they said, I know when he's going to zig and when he's going to zag. That's what we need with our quarterback receiver combination. Stop with 8, 10 receivers. Just settle on 3, 4 guys, maybe 5 at the most, and let's move forward with that.
The Bucknuts Morning 5 is the most misleading name in the history of names, but the show is popular, so whatever. We might go close to 20 minutes on today's show, but whatever. One more thing for you, as promised, the strength of the defense. What do you feel like the strength of the defense will be this year, Duane?
Oh, it's defensive line. These guys are going to absolutely kill people. It's just, we thought it was going to be impressive last year. And when you look at what we did to USC, we nearly knocked Sam Darnold out of the top 10. We almost killed that boy. He had nightmares about what the Buckeye front did to him last year. Well, guess what, college football? It's going to be even better. When you've got Nick Bosa on one side and Chase Young coming off the other side, and Draymond Jones coming up the middle, who you going to double? Tell me who you're going to double. It's just going to be I absolutely anticipating us setting a record for most sacks by an Ohio State football team. It's going to be so unbelievable what's going to happen to offensive lines. They're going to be looking around like, what are we supposed to do about this? We don't have enough people. They're just going to dominate.
We have enough people at Bucknuts, and we like to think we dominate as well. Thank you very much, Duane. We'll try and stay humble despite my comments there. Great stuff as always. Good to have you on the show. As far as speaking to you again, it's been a while. Dane has you on every Tuesday. So, again, Dan is on assignment, so good to have you on the show with me today. Thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning into the show. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Let's hear that Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.